So, very good morning to one and all. We are on to the day 4, fourth day of our 5-day faculty development program on accreditation process, the way forward. So, I would warmly welcome all of you to this nice morning. And I would like to invite our principal, Mr. Regimon Abraham, to invite our resource person of the day. So, very good morning to one and all. We'll be starting the function with fourth day of our 5-day faculty development program on accreditation process, the way forward. So, I would warmly welcome all of you to this nice morning. And I would Regiment, sir.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Shihabuddin, sir, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
അപ്പോൾ സാറിനെ ചേലക്കര പള്ളിയുടെ പേരിലും നമ്മളുടെ 200ഓളം വരുന്ന പാർട്ടിസിപ്പൻസിന്റെ പേരിൽ പ്രോഗ്രാമിലേക്ക് വെൽക്കം ചെയ്യുകയാണ്.
ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു സർ.
യെസ്, അപ്പോൾ ശ്രീകാവതി സാറിനെ പറ്റി പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പലർക്കും പരിചയമുണ്ട്. ഒരു ബെസ്റ്റ് ടീച്ചറാണ്. കൂടാതെ ഞാൻ പഠിച്ച പോളിടെക്നിക്കിലെ എൻ്റെ സ്വന്തം ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിന്റെ നിലവിലുള്ള HOD കൂടിയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ രണ്ടർത്ഥത്തിലും നമ്മളുടെ പ്രോഗ്രാമിന് എല്ലാം കൊണ്ടും യോജിച്ച ആളാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാമിന് ഫാക്കൽറ്റിയെ കണ്ടെത്തുന്നതിനൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് വളരെയധികം ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്ത ആളാണ്. അപ്പൊ ശിഹാബുദ്ദീൻ സാറിന്റെ സെഷൻ വളരെ എന്താ പറയുന്നത് ആകാംക്ഷയോടെ ഞങ്ങൾ കാത്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്. സോ വെൽക്കം ടു ദിസ് 5-day. താങ്ക് യു.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Just I will give an introduction about you, sir, to the audience. So we have an elegant resource person today, Mr. Shihabuddin KM, the head of the department at Computer Engineering at KGPTC Kozhikode. Sir has taken his BTech from LBS College of Engineering, Kasaragod, and he completed his MTech from Palakkad Engineering, NSS Engineering College. He has got a rich experience in teaching and he has been acting as head of department for more than 10 years. His area of interest is cloud computing. He is the leading personality of the NPA activities of his program at KGPTC. With pleasure, I would like to invite Shihabuddin sir to this session. This session is regarding creative ambience for quality education, in which we will be going to know about the technical facilities which have to be there in our programs. Sir will be giving us the details regarding the same. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Present ചെയ്യട്ടെ.
Yes, sir.
ചെയ്തോളൂ.
Screen
Visible answer.
visible ആണല്ലേ? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Regimon sir and Dr. Anita. A warm welcome to my webinar on creative technical support facilities for quality education. As introduced, myself, I am Shihabuddin, head of department, computer engineering, KGPTC, Kozhikode. Nowadays, in polytechnics, most blared term is NBA, apart from that corona. That much popularity has gained for NBA in our campus. Apart from the popularity, our community, polytechnic community has understood the necessity of accreditation process to our programs. It's a very good initiative taken by GPTC Chelakara to conduct such an program to give information regarding NBA accreditation process for the whole community, polytechnic community during this pandemic time. This 5-day program, the attendees may have learned about what is NBA, why NBA, what is its necessity, then SAR preparation, different criteria for preparing SAR, etc., etc. For polytechnic stream, we have 9 criteria. Are for program-specific criteria, and 2 of them are for institution-specific criteria. For today's discussion, I selected a topic from the program-specific criteria, that is criteria number 6. Now, the outcome of this webinar is to understand the SAR requirements for the criterion number 6. So that is the expected outcome from this webinar. Now, let's discuss about this criterion 6, that is the facilities and the technical support. This particular criteria is divided into 6 sub-criteria. The first one is the availability of adequate, well-equipped classrooms to meet curriculum requirements. And second one, the availability of adequate and well-equipped workshops, laboratories, and technical manpower to meet curriculum requirements. And the third sub-criteria, that is for additional facilities created for improving quality of learning experience in the laboratories. Fourth one, the maintenance and overall ambience of laboratories. Then fifth one, the availability of computing facility in the department. And the sixth one, which is the final one, that is the language lab. So in this particular criterion number 6, we have 6 sub-criteria. So evaluation will be based on these sub-criteria. The first thing is for the classrooms, and second thing is for laboratories, workshop, and the manpower in the laboratories. Then the third one for additional facilities. Then fourth one is maintenance and overall ambience. And the fifth one, the availability of computing facility in the department. And sixth one is the language lab. So, considering all these facts, we can conclude that criterion 6 is concerned with laboratories to run program-specific curriculum and technical support staff. Now, NBA team will carry out physical verification of the infrastructure facilities of classrooms, laboratories, and workshops. Then the documents of laboratories and workshops. Then interact with the faculty, lab staff members, and the students. So, for evaluating this criteria, the NBA team will perform all these things. That is, infrastructure facilities and the classroom, drawing hall, laboratories, workshop will be physically verified. Then the documents available in laboratories and workshop will be verified. Then they will interact with the faculty in charge and the lab in charge and the students. Now let's see the marks distribution for different sub-criteria in criterion number 6. The first sub-criteria, that is the availability of adequate and well-equipped classrooms to meet curriculum requirements, that is assigned with a maximum of 10 marks. So classroom, a clean, well-maintained classrooms and drawing halls that will give 10 marks for us. Then the second one, the availability of adequate and well-equipped workshops, laboratories, and technical manpower to meet the curriculum requirements that is assigned with a maximum of 40 marks. This sub-criteria has got a maximum marks in criteria number 6, that is 40. Now, the third sub-criteria, that is additional facilities created for improving the quality learning of learning experience in laboratories, that is assigned with a maximum of 20 marks. Then fourth one, that is the maintenance and overall ambience of laboratories, that is assigned with 10 marks. Then fifth one, the availability of computing facility in the department, that is assigned with 10 marks. Then the final one, the language lab, that has assigned with a maximum of 10 marks. So in this particular criteria, we can get a maximum of 100 marks. So it is very easy to score marks in this particular criterion, because all the facilities are presently available in all institutions, but we have to just modify or reorder everything to get the highest score. So we know that from the last sessions, you may have understood that each and every mark will be countable. So you can get a maximum, try to get maximum marks from the area that is already available in your institution. So from the criteria number 6, you try to get maximum marks from this one by just rescheduling some of your daily routine things. Now we will discuss about the first sub-criteria of criteria number 6, that is availability of adequate, well-equipped classrooms to meet curriculum requirements. So we have discussed that it has got a maximum of 10 marks. Now, for evaluating this, the NBA team will visit and inspect classrooms, drawing halls, seminar hall, and the auditorium. Then they interact with the students. Then the ambience of classroom and its arrangements are checked. So these are the things that NBA team will inspect for 6.1. Now we have to provide the data in SAR and also for the inspecting team in the format given here, just like in this way. See, the format is in this way. We have to give the legend room description, we have to give the legend name, and we have to specify whether that room is shared or exclusive for our department or department, then the area of that particular room, then the available facilities. All these things have to be represented. So this information should be provided in SAR and also for the visiting team. So in our college, we have 3 exclusive classrooms available for the theory classes. So here, classrooms, 3 classrooms you can see here. We have 3 classrooms for first year, second year, and third year, and these are exclusively allocated for our department. And the capacity of each classroom, that is, as mentioned, you know that as per the ACCREDITATION rule, that there are certain for restrictions for that. So based on that, we have 66 square meter area for each room. And each room has these facilities available, like blackboard, ICT facility, whiteboard with marker pen, benches, desk, fan, light, everything. Now, another thing is that each department will use drawing hall. Okay, so in our college, we have available with 2 drawing halls. So here, this hall is shared among all the departments. Okay, so it is represented as a shared, and its capacity is given, and the available facilities are provided. In this way, all the rooms and the classrooms that are used by a program or the department have to be specified in this particular format. Okay, and we have to say that whether we are using exclusively for the department or we are sharing that facility. Now, the second sub-criteria, that is the availability of adequate and well-equipped workshops, laboratories, and technical manpower to meet curriculum requirements. That is 40 marks from this sub-criteria. Here, the NBA team will inspect the adequate, well-equipped laboratories to run lab courses in the curriculum. They will check whether maintenance of lab equipments are done periodically. Then adequate faculty and technicians to support students are available or not. Whether students are allowed to do lab experiments beyond working hours with technical support. So these are the things they are inspecting for providing, for verifying this particular sub-criteria. Then the exhibits that we have to provide for the inspection team are, first thing, the timetable, that is the schedule that that particular, how that particular laboratory is working. Then the profile of the technical staff members have to be provided. Then in and out register maintained in the laboratory. Then daily evaluation reports are to be provided. Then lab manuals are to be provided. Then maintenance report had to be provided. These are the exhibits that we have to provide in front of the inspection team. So everything will be available, already available in all the colleges, like timetable we have in timetable in our laboratories. Then profile of technical staff members that we have already collected, all the polytechnics have collected for SBT inspection. So a little bit addings will be necessary there. So that will be available. In-out register, that register is a login register will be there in every laboratory. Then lab manuals will be there. Then maintenance register. So we are performing maintenance in every laboratory, but in certain, it is found that certain institutions may not have maintenance register. In our college also, we don't have such maintenance register, but for the NBA purpose, we have created such one. Okay, the thing here, we have to prepare a daily evaluation report in each and every laboratory. So I will give a format for the evaluation sheet, daily evaluation sheet. See, so this daily evaluation sheet is based on our DC department committee meetings derived from our DC meetings. Okay, here for every experiment we will provide 25 marks to each and every student. So that split up is in this way. For algorithm, we are providing the maximum marks is 5, for program 5, then a record. So we are insisting to bring a rough record and the fair record of previous experiment when a student come to laboratory. Okay, so for records, we are providing a maximum of 5 marks, and daily we are conducting a viva voce for that 10 marks. So based on that, a daily evaluation will evaluation with a maximum of 25 marks are done for each and every student whenever he comes to the laboratory. So in this way, a daily evaluation sheet is necessary to provide for the visiting team, and also it may be needed for submitting SAR. Now, the details that we have to provide in SAR and visiting NBA visiting team or evaluation team, this one, the format for the workshop is in this way. Say, here we have to give information in this way: name of the workshop, name of students per batch, name of important equipments in that particular workshop, then the weekly utilization status, then the technical manpower support. That is, we have to give the name, designation, and qualification of all the technical staff members. So in this way, all the details regarding workshop should be provided at the time of SAR uploading, and also for the NBA inspection team. This is for the workshop. Similarly, for the department laboratory, the format will be in this way. The NBA, as per NBA norms, each department should have 5 physical laboratories. So that's why here we are given here. We have named it as software lab 1, software 2, 3, then a hardware lab and a project lab. Okay. So all the departments should have 5 physical laboratories. Okay, so we have to provide the data regarding all the 5 physical laboratories in this way. So first, the name of laboratory and the number of students per batch that should be given, and the name of important equipments in that particular lab, then the weekly utilization, then the technical manpower support. These informations have to be provided for SAR and also for the inspecting team. Okay. Now we will see the sub-criteria number 3, that is the additional facilities created for improving quality of learning experience in the laboratories. It has 20 marks, maximum of 20 marks. Okay. The information this particular criteria is dealing with the additional facilities that are created by the department. Okay, so the informations like new separately created department library or additional laboratory, just like a project lab. That is the additional laboratory other than the 5 necessary laboratories that can be specified here. Then innovative ideas, then collaborative works with other departments, utilization of facilities like finishing school, IIPC, IEDC, etc. for enhancing the skills of the students, utilization of spoken tutorials. So depending upon the facilities available within your institution, you can add any additional facilities. So here we are just like we have utilized the IAPC, IEDC and finishing school for enhancing the skills of our students. And also we are conducting a spoken tutorial for every student to improve their programming skill. Okay. So in this way, you can add any facility, additional facility that can enhance the skills of our students. Okay. So it has got a maximum of 20 marks. So here thing is that everything should be recorded, and the maintenance register, then the utilization register should be shown to the should be submitted in front of the visiting team. Now, the evaluation guideline. The availability, first thing is that the availability and relevance of additional facilities. So the evaluation for the sub-criteria number 3 is based on 3 things. The first thing is that the availability and the relevance of additional facilities. Okay, the availability is first. Then the utilization of facilities and effectiveness. That means the effective utilization of that additional facility based on that evaluation is conducted. Then the third thing is relevance to POs and PSOs. Okay, so in the last sessions, you may have learnt about POs and PSOs. So if you have created an additional facility, what is the relevance, how it is mapped onto POs and PSOs, that should be specified. So these are the evaluation guidelines for 6.3, that is sub-criterion 3 of criterion 6. Now, we'll see the format for data to be provided. So here, this is the format, the facility name and the details, reasons for creating this facility, utilization of this newly created facility, areas in which students are expected to have enhanced learning, relevance to POs and PSOs. For the sake of giving example, I have represented a department library here. So the newly created facility is department library. So in this department library, we will keep the textbooks related to our syllabus and textbooks regarding new tools which are used in market. Okay, then we are keeping the project and seminar reports here. Then the reason for creating this particular facility is to provide a reference facility for the students. So for all the students like first year, second year and third year. But it is mainly used by the second year and final year students for their mini project and final year projects. Then the utilization, that is for all the students. Any student can access this library, department library. Then areas in which students are expected to have enhanced learning. That I told you earlier that all the students are utilizing this library for their project. So project management is one of the area we are expected to have enhanced learning for the students. And this relevance of this particular additional facility is mapped onto PO1, PO2, PO4 and PO9. In this way, you can list out all the additional facilities that your department has created for enhanced learning of students. Now, the points to be considered are: the supporting documents must be available. That is very important thing. Then avoid listing of routine equipments like projectors as additional facilities. So routine equipments should not be added onto the additional facility. Now, an impact analysis must be done and the actions must be taken based on the impact analysis. So for every semester, the department should conduct an impact analysis regarding the newly created or the additional facility created in the department. Just like, for example, the impact analysis will be based on how do the students react to the additional facility. Then are they happy with the quality of learning experiences getting through these additional facilities? Do they find additional facilities are relevant to POs and PSOs? So based on that, a survey can be conducted, and that survey report should be provided to department committee. And department committee will analyze this one, and based on that, certain decisions will be taken to improve the additional facility utilization. Now, if another thing is that if additional facilities are shared, records must be maintained. Just like, for example, we can the departments can share these additional facilities. Just like suppose a PCB designing newly in the electronics department, suppose a PCB designing facility is created, then that can be utilized by their hardware students or computer engineering students for their project work. Okay, etc., etc. Okay, so if additional facilities are implemented or created, and that additional facilities are shared among the departments, then a record must be maintained that will show how this additional facility is utilized by different departments. Now, we will move on to the fourth sub-criteria, that is maintenance and overall ambience of laboratories. So 10 marks, the maximum of 10 marks are allocated for this particular sub-criteria. Here we have to consider the laboratories should be well equipped with required instruments to conduct the lab given in the curriculum and beyond. Then it should be very spacious to accommodate the students. Each student can use individual computer or machines to perform experiments and obtain results. That will depend upon the programs. Okay, the mechanical in the mechanical department, they will have some teamwork that will be there. So in the case of computer engineering students, we have to provide individual computer to perform their experiments and to obtain their results. And the staff members have sufficient training and exposure in respective areas. Then the students should be provided with strict instructions regarding do's and don'ts in the laboratories. Then checkup of equipments are carried out periodically and keep maintenance register in the laboratories. So periodic checkup is necessary, and also calibration. If certain machines needed calibration, then that should be done periodically. And the department should have a policy for this periodic work, maintenance work, and all related to the works related to the equipments like calibration work. So we have the department has to keep a register for this periodic checkup and calibration work. So in this case, it is specified that the staff members have sufficient training and exposure to respective areas, because the inspection team will check the knowledge of the faculty and the laboratory staff members. So all the staff members should aware of all the experiments that are done in that particular lab and should have a minimum knowledge regarding the experiments. Now, let's see what are the good practices for this one. They implement preventive maintenance were required, have a policy document and an implementation record. So maintenance record and maintenance policy will be scheduled by the department, and its documents, implementation records and documents should be available within the laboratory. Then calibrate the equipments required. Have a policy documents and the implementation records for that one. So it is basically for civil engineering laboratories and electrical engineering laboratories. There the machines need to be calibrated periodically so that the students can utilize the facility effectively for their study purposes or experiments. So to calibrate the equipments, the department should have a clear policy and documents should be available for that one. Then maintenance records should be up to date. Then implement necessary inventory policies for components and materials. The laboratories like chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, they need certain components, periodic need of components will be there. So they have to purchase this one. So we are usually doing that one, but we have to make it a format, or we have to make it a policy based on that. Presently, we are submitting. The department will submit a request to the principal, and principal will allocate a fund for that purchase, and that is done presently. But say here also same thing, but there should be some policy, some documents that should be available in department, how the components and materials are purchased, how the fund is allocated for that. This information should be kept into the laboratory. Then another thing is that maintenance in the laboratories. So maintenance work can be categorized into daily maintenance, then weekly maintenance, then monthly maintenance, yearly maintenance or semester break maintenance, then breakdown maintenance, and if you have computing devices, then we will have UPS with that department, so UPS maintenance. So we can categorize maintenance work into in a particular format that we are doing daily maintenance in this way, and we are doing about that we are doing some weekly maintenance, and periodically we are doing some monthly maintenance and yearly maintenance work, and of course some breakdown will occur that will be done. Okay, then UPS maintenance had to be performed. Okay, so we have a clear-cut idea regarding the maintenance work within the laboratories. Let us see each and every one. So daily maintenance. So in our college, we are performing in this way, daily maintenance. The lab in charge should check the working condition of equipments and system on daily basis. Everyday cleaning of equipments and work tables should be done. That will be, all these things are done on a daily basis. Then floor cleaning of laboratories have to be done every day. Then weekly maintenance. So for each laboratory, there will have a lab in charge and a faculty in charge. So lab in charge and a faculty in charge should identify the fault, if any, and prepare a weekly maintenance report. And floor mopping of laboratories should be done twice in a week. Okay, so floor mopping already we are doing that one. But if we are keeping a record and put a receive signature on this record from the part-time staff, then it will be added advantage if visiting team checks this maintenance record. So we have to keep each and every record. Then the yearly maintenance. An annual maintenance of laboratories should be done, and a maintenance report should be prepared. Then fire extinguishers should be regularly checked and refilled. Then the breakdown maintenance, we are using this policy. So if minor repairs can be done by the lab in charge, and when there is a major repair, service report is obtained from the industry person who will repair that one, and the approval of service of equipments are obtained from the HOD and the principal. So we will keep a record for that one. So minor repairs can be done by the lab in charge, but if a serious problem arises, that can be done from a person outside. But before doing that one, approval should be obtained from HOD and the principal, and it should be recorded. The service register is maintained in each lab. Then UPS maintenance. Okay. We are using a policy in this way. So batteries of UPS are cleaned regularly to prevent corrosion, removal of dust, and should be recorded in UPS maintenance register. The water level, voltage level, loose connections in the battery terminals, and backup of UPS should be checked on the monthly basis. If any deviation, it should be rectified and recorded in the register. The minor problems regarding the UPS, like input MCB tripping that usually occurs, then the battery low beep, etc., can be carried out by the lab in charge. If there is a major failure, then the service person from the industry is called, and fault is rectified and recorded in the maintenance register, UPS maintenance register. So everything is done. We are performing everything, but you have to, you should formulate a policy. Based on that policy, you have to perform the maintenance work. Now, for the overall ambience, a spacious and well-furnished laboratories with a good ventilation and lighting facilities should be available. Then all laboratories are equipped with essential equipment to meet the requirements of curriculum. For maintaining the overall good ambience, the weekly cleaning of equipments and 5S implementation are to be carried out. So usual cases, different colleges have implemented 5S. So try to implement 5S for the overall ambience. The proper numbering should be done on all equipments, devices, furnitures and tables. Then working models of machines and devices in the form of chart should be placed on the walls of laboratories. Do's and don'ts are to be displayed on laboratory. List of experiments have to be displayed in laboratory. Then lab manual should be available. Lab layout should be available in the laboratory. Lab in charge and faculty in charge should be displayed on each laboratory. Then vision mission of the department and POs, PSOs should be available in each laboratory. So these are the things which we have to provide for improving the overall ambience. So everything, the addition thing is that list of experiments have to be displayed in laboratory. Everything will be available. So the important thing is the list of experiments to be displayed in the laboratory that will be discussed. Okay, I will show an example for that one. Okay, then here the addition thing, another addition thing is that we have to display lab layout. All the 5 labs should have their lab layout displayed on each laboratory. Then the additional thing here is the lab in charge and faculty in charge should be displayed in each laboratory. Then vision mission of the department, POs, PSOs should be available in each laboratory. Now, let us see a lab layout. For example, I have taken from my department, 2 layouts are taken. Okay, just in this way. So it is the lab layout for our software lab 3, and it's another lab layout for our project lab. So in this way, we have to display the lab layout in each and every laboratory. So all the 5 laboratories should have the lab layouts. Then also you have to display the lab in charge details and faculty in charge. The name of lab in charge and faculty in charge should be displayed in front of the laboratory. That is additional thing that is based on NBA. Now, what all the experiments that are performed in a particular lab, that lab experiment should be displayed within the laboratory. See here, it's a laboratory experiment list for data structures lab. Here, we are shown information like this one. All the course outcomes for that particular lab is given. And we are given all the lab experiments. So here 14 experiments are shown here. All the 14 experiments are listed, and it is divided into different cycles. And all experiments should be mapped onto corresponding COs, POs, and PSOs. So you see here, all the experiments, they are mapped onto, okay, this one is mapped onto this particular CO, and it is mapped onto these POs, and mapped onto these PSOs. So in this way, you have to show the details of all the experiments that are done on that particular lab, along with mapping onto its mapping experiments mapping onto COs, POs, and PSOs. and also you have to display the course outcome. So in this way, you have to display the experiment list for all the subjects that are doing in that particular labs. For example, if in a lab we have 3 subjects X, Y, Z, then we have to display the experiment list for the X, Y, and Z subjects. And we have to show the department vision, mission, PEO, PSOs in each and every department. See, for example, I have taken from my department. So here, it gives information regarding the department vision, department mission, program educational objectives, and program specific objectives. So see, all these things should be aware, should be known to students, faculty members, lab staff. So they will ask for the mission, and what are the POs and what are the PSOs, POs that will be asked with the laboratory staff, also with the laboratory staff members. So the apart from the students, all the faculty and the laboratory staff members should aware of all these things. Then you can display, to increase the ambience, you can display some informative charts in laboratories. Just like here within the hardware lab, we have displayed this one. Okay, analytical engine by Charles Babbage. So in this way, the relevant charts can be displayed that will give information to the students. So in this way, we are giving a chart of AVR block diagram for the AVR microcontroller. In this way, the informative charts can be displayed within the laboratory. Then the following steps should be taken by the department for each lab. First thing, the stock register is maintained in all the laboratories. So usual thing is that for a department, sometimes for a department there will have a single stock register. So for NBA purpose, it will be better to have different stock register for different laboratories. So for five laboratories, we should keep a separate stock register. So there will have a minimum of 5 stock registers for the laboratories. Then periodic meeting and decision making are done with the lab in charge by the head of department and the department committee. So actually for the department, we have a department committee that is formed by the head of department, the program coordinator, and a senior faculty member, and a staff representing the lab staff member. So usual case, we will have HOD lectures and demonstrators will be available in the department committee. They will create certain policies for improving the performance and learning skills of the students. So a periodic meeting and a decision decision making are to be done with the lab in charge along with the department committee. Then laboratory manuals are provided for the students with proper instructions. So laboratory manuals, we have policy that we will prepare laboratory manual before the beginning of all the semesters, and a soft copy and a hard copy will be available along with the within the laboratory. So the students can utilize that one. Then regarding the computer engineering department, details and working of network topology and diagrams are properly displayed. Similarly, for other departments with heavy equipments, the block diagram and information regarding that heavy equipment should be displayed within the laboratory. All the laboratories are properly ventilated and illuminated. Proper safety instructions are displayed in the laboratory. And safety manual is maintained in each laboratory. Cupboards are available, should be available in each laboratory for the students to keep their belongings. So these things are to be considered by the department for each of the laboratory. Then the next important thing is that the safety measures in the laboratories. Common safety measures in the laboratories are: laboratories should have first aid kit that is made available. Then fire extinguishers should be made available. So if every lab, if it is possible for each and every lab, there should be a fire extinguisher. Otherwise, for each floor, you can place a fire extinguisher. Then students should be instructed to avoid direct contact with any voltage sources and hazardous chemicals. Students should be advised to wear rubber-soled shoes, coat, and avoid loose clothing. Examine earthing of lines, circuits periodically. So everything should be done, and all these things should be, the records for everything should be available in all laboratories. So everything will be, presently everything will be available in each college, but we haven't recorded that one. Okay. So we have to provide a clear-cut idea where the first aid kits are available, where the extinguisher is placed, and how to cope with a hazardous situation. All this based on this, a policy should be prepared or created by the department, and that record should be available in each laboratory. Now, in the case of our department, for all the 5 labs, we have all these safety measures. We have do's and do nots board. Then the electrical wires are protected by MC, RCBO, and fuses. So then first aid kits are available. Fire and extinguishers are available in each floor. Then proper earthing is checked periodically. So these are some of the safety measures in the laboratories. Then let's see the different good practices for this one. Ensure that the proper safety instructions are prominently displayed at appropriate places in the laboratories. Then laboratories like high voltage laboratories, chemical laboratories, heavy machine laboratories need special safety measures and standards. Ensure that the relevant safety standards are showed or followed. Okay, so the department has to prepare safety measures and standards to meet the situations, the dangerous situations, and that safety measures and the records should be available within each laboratory. Maintain necessary records regarding the special safety protocol. The records must show the standards which are relevant to a particular laboratory and the implementation of those standards. Ensure proper maintenance of safety equipments like fire extinguishers are done and should have necessary records for that one. Ensure that first aid kits are in proper condition. Have standard operating procedure for emergencies. Okay, these are the good practices for each and every lab within a department. Now, we'll see our fifth sub-criteria, that is availability of computing facility in the department. So you can specify what all the computing facilities available, like for civil department, there will have the facilities like CAD lab or like that. So what are the computing facilities that are available within the department that can be specified here? So maximum marks for that this particular sub-criteria is 10. The MBA team check the number of available computers and peripherals, the details of legal softwares available within that particular computing facility, details of networking, then utilization register, then maintenance register, and impact analysis report. So based on these things, the marks for this particular sub-criteria is provided. So number of available computers and peripherals, details of legal software, details of networking. And the important thing is that if we have all these facilities and how these costly equipments are utilized, and there should be a utilization register available within the laboratory, and also a maintenance register should be kept there. And also, as I told before that, additional facility, an impact analysis report should be provided to the NBA team. So how this facility is utilized by the students, are they happy with this particular facility? Based on that, you can conduct a survey, and that survey report can be submitted to the NBA visit team. The format for the data to be provided is as follows. The table shows that number of computer terminals available, the student computer ratio, then the details of legal softwares, then details of networking available within that particular computing facility, the details of peripherals like printers, scanners, etc. that should be provided at the time of SR writing and also to the inspection team. Now the final sub-criteria, that is the language lab. For this one, 10 marks, maximum 10 marks. So as per ACCREDITATION norms, 25 computers should be available in language lab for 1,000 students. So, usual case, each and every college should have at least 25 computers for the language in the language lab. Then it should have a minimum area of 66 square meter. Then should have adequate language softwares for giving training for the students. Then Faculty of English has given the charge of this language lab. Should be equipped with headphones and microphones per system. Then utilization register should be maintained. So for every lab, you should keep a utilization register. That is very important. They will check the details in utilization register. That means that the costly equipments are utilized properly by the department, or whether it is utilized or not. The format for the data to be provided. The number of terminals available in the language lab, student computer ratio, the number of hours per week, the beneficiaries, then the faculty in charge. This information has to be provided in SAR and also for the inspection team. Then, see, what are the resources available? That should be, we should have an idea about that one. So by using language lab, we will try to improve the skills like vocabulary of the students, the spoken English ability, then the presentation skills, group discussions, and listening skills. So we will try to improve these skills of students. So for that, the resources, different resources are available that can be utilized. Just like here, effective word power and right expression and BBC. Then spoken English and effective communication software Taliola is there, that is utilized. And for presentation skill, we are using video presentation and PPTs. And for group discussion, the resources available in our language lab are video and audio systems. Then to improve the listening skills, we are using the software that is Taliola. Now, another thing is that project laboratory. So usually all the departments should have 5 laboratories compulsory, 5 physical laboratories compulsory. If it is possible, you can create an additional laboratory that will be considered as an additional facility. So based on that, we can create, department can, if possible, department can create a project laboratory exclusively for doing project work for the students. So if project laboratory is established, it should be ensured that a separate laboratory is provided for the project work. Do not combine it with the regular laboratory. Maintain a logbook of utilization of facility. Provide flexible access time if feasible. So apart from our usual college time, you can give additional time to the students with the permission of the lab in charge. So additional time can be provided, just like in the evening or in the before the commencement of classes or within the Saturdays. You can give access to this project laboratory so that the students can utilize it for their project work. The proper maintenance and upgradation of a lab facility and the funds required for that should have a clear-cut policy for that one. So if department has a project laboratory, then it will be an added advantage to score additional marks in this particular criteria. Now, let's see the evaluation guidelines for the criteria number 6. So, the evaluation will be based on this particular format. So, you can see here all the 6 sub-criteria are given here. For each one, the maximum marks are given in the 3rd column. Then the evaluation guidelines are given here. So, the first sub-criteria is evaluated on the basis of the information that we have provided, and here the second sub criteria, for that a maximum of 40 marks are there, and it is the 40 marks will be allocated on this basis. That is adequacy, it is given 10 marks. The quality of lab and workshop, it is given 20 marks. And the technical manpower and the manpower support, whether it is eligible and it's adequate, for that it is 10 marks. Then for sub-criteria number 3, so 20 marks are there. It is split into, for facilities 10 marks, effective utilization 5 marks, the relevance to POs and PSOs 5 marks. So if additional facilities are available, we will get a maximum of 10 marks. Okay, here you can see here, if for the effective utilization of that particular additional facility, they are given 5 marks. And we have to show the relevance of that additional facilities or to POs and PSOs. For that, it is 5 marks. Okay. Then the fourth one, the laboratory maintenance and overall ambience. So they will check based on the records and the appearance. They will provide 10 marks. The availability of computing facility in the department. Okay, for that 10 marks. So availability and adequacy, based on that, they are providing 10 marks. And the language lab, so availability and its effective utilization, based on that, it is given 10 marks. So overall, 100 marks are assigned, a maximum of 100 marks are assigned to this particular criterion number 6. So these are the things regarding to our criterion number 6. Okay. And just I will show this for conducting laboratory assessment, the policy we have created. Okay, just for your information. Okay. See, for the improvement, for continuous assessment and conduct of lab experiment, we have modeled a policy. Based on that, we will evaluate each student. Okay, the first thing, the first step is that labs are well equipped with the necessary infrastructure. So all the 5 labs have all the equipments needed for our curriculum. Okay, that is the first thing, first step we have taken. The second step, students are asked to bring rough records and their fair records in the labs, advised to study theory behind each experiment before lab session. So presently all of the departments or all of the institutions are doing the same thing, but we have recorded this thing. We have formulated a policy, and within that policy we have specified that we are doing this and these things. So that will be an added advantage if NBA visiting team checks that one. Okay, so students are requested to bring rough records and fair records, and they are advised to study the theory behind each experiment before the lab session. And in the third step, we have set certain rubrics for the continuous evaluation. So we have set certain rubrics. Okay, that rubrics will be derived from the discussion that is performed within the department committee meeting, DC meeting. From there, that rubrics are derived. Just like the rubrics will be based on the vivavos, then experiment and knowledge of experiment and also record work. So based on that, we have set certain rubrics, and on the basis of that rubrics, we will perform a continuous evaluation. And in the fourth step, the daily evaluation is conducted in every lab session. So every lab session, if a student enters in a lab, a daily evaluation will be performed. That is the fourth step. In the fifth step, if daily evaluation score, that means I told you earlier that 25 marks daily evaluation will be done for each student in each lab. So if a daily evaluation score for a student is less than 40%, the student is asked to repeat the evaluation before the next lab. So before he come to next lab, he should repeat the evaluation, daily evaluation process. So whenever the faculty gets time, he had to go there and to attend for the daily evaluation again. So we have 40% mark cutoff is provided there. So if below 40%, he has to attend, repeat the daily evaluation before coming to the next lab. That is the policy we have implemented. Then the average of daily evaluation is used for generating 60% of internal marks. So all this, for example, if 20 lab experiments are done, we will take an average of this all daily evaluation marks for these 20 experiments, and 60% of that is taken to generate the internal marks for that particular subject, laboratory subject. Then after that, we have to conduct internal examination. For that, rubrics set for internal exams and question paper is set and mapped to each question will be mapped on to different COs and the internal exam will be conducted. Now, in this 8th step, if score is less than for the internal examination, so in this 7th step, we have conducted an internal examination. So if in the internal examination, if the score of a student is less than 40%, then the student is asked to repeat the exam. So he has to rewrite the examination again to improve his skills. Then, based on these things, the final internal marks are generated. So this is a policy that that our department had made, conduct a laboratory experiment and a continuous assessment. So in this way, departments can have different policies that will benefit the student to improve his learning and practical skills. Okay, so based on your knowledge and the facilities available in your department, you can create any type of policy. But everything should be recorded. So recorded means you have to take decision in certain meeting and its minutes and everything should be available and it should be provided in front of the in the visiting team. Now, as far as the lab staff, he should have certain idea about the course file format for the laboratory. So actually the course file will be available with the faculty in charge of that particular subject. But the lab in charge should also aware about the course file format and everything. So within the course file, so I think in the last class, Nishamal teacher maybe taken this particular topic, but I have just modified it for the laboratory purpose only. So within the course file, it should have information like vision, mission, PEO and PSOs. Then the academic calendar should be there. Then the syllabus for that particular subject should be there. Then the timetable should be available. Then a course information sheet, CIS, should be available. Within the CIS, the course description should be given, course outcomes, then course plans, the experiments to CO mapping, that CO-PO mapping should be provided. The evaluation methods and the rubrics set for the evaluation that are to be provided. Then the references should be given. So all these things, this course description, course outcomes, course plan, experiment CO mapping, CO-PO mapping, evaluation method, references, all these things should be available in the CIS. And in addition to that, so vision, mission, academic calendar, syllabus, timetable, CIS, then course file should have daily evaluation sheet. The format for that is as shown to you in the beginning of this particular session. Then the internal exam question papers. So sample question papers should be there. Then the sample answer sheets should be made available within the course file. Then CO feedback should be taken and that information should be there. Then CO-PO attainment, that should be available within the course file. And finally, final exam grades should be available within the course file. So all these are the informations that should be available within the course file. Okay. So these are the contents for this particular topic. If you have any doubt, you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the session. Now I would like to invite Mr. Praveen Sharma, lecturer in electronics department, to handle the question and answer session.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, I have a question about the fire and safety system.
എന്താണ് ഫയർ ആൻഡ് സേഫ്റ്റി സിസ്റ്റത്തില് എന്താണ്
അത് ക്രൈറ്റീരിയൻ 6 ഫയർ ആൻഡ് സേഫ്റ്റി സിസ്റ്റം വരുന്നുണ്ടോ?
അതെ, ഫയർ ആൻഡ് സേഫ്റ്റി സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് മൊത്തത്തിലാണ്, അത് ACT നോംസ് അനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് വരേണ്ട കാര്യമാണ്. നമുക്ക് ഇപ്പം വേണ്ടത്, അത്യാവശ്യമായിട്ട് വേണ്ടത് ഒരു എമർജൻസി മീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യം. ജസ്റ്റ് ലൈക്ക് നമ്മള് എന്താണ്, ഒരു എമർജൻസി സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ എങ്ങനെ അത് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യാം, അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ഇതിൽ സ്പെസിഫൈ ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ബട്ട് ACTയുടെ നോംസ് അനുസരിച്ച് ആ കാര്യം വേറെയാണ്.
Is there any limit for shared labs? And if shared labs are there, will marks will be reduced?
ഷെയർഡ് ലാബ്സില്, അപ്പൊ ഷെയർഡ് ലാബ്സ് നമുക്ക് സാധാരണ വരുന്നത് ഇപ്പം കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ്, കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ഹാർഡ്വെയർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ലൈക്ക് അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ വരുമ്പോഴാണ്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ NBA നോംസ് പ്രകാരം നമുക്ക് 5 ലാബ്സ് കമ്പൽസറി ആണ്. അപ്പൊ ഇത് കേസ് എപ്പോഴാണ് വരുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, സപ്പോസ് വിത്തിൻ എ കോളേജ് ഇഫ് മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ഈസ് ദെയർ ആൻഡ് ടൂൾ ആൻഡ് ഡൈ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ഈസ് ദെയർ. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് 4 ലാബ് ഉണ്ട് ആൻഡ് 5ാമത്തെ ഒരു ലാബ് നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് TD ആയിട്ട് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാണ്. ആ സമയത്ത് നമുക്ക് പ്രശ്നമില്ല. ബട്ട് അല്ലാത്ത വശം അതിന് എന്താണ്, ദാറ്റ് വിൽ എഫക്ട് മാർക്സ്. സോ ആക്ച്വലി ഇത് ഇൻസിസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, 5 ഫിസിക്കൽ ലാബ്സ് എന്ന് ഇൻസിസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. അത് കൂടാതെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രം നമുക്ക് അതിന് പ്രശ്നമില്ല. 5ൽ കുറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ദാറ്റ് വിൽ അഫക്ട് ദി മാർക്സ്.
ഓക്കെ സർ. ഓരോ മെയിൻ്റനൻസിനും ഇപ്പൊ ഡെയിലി ആൻഡ് വീക്ക്ലി മെയിൻ്റനൻസ് അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ മെയിൻ്റനൻസിനും ഓരോ ടൈപ്പിനും സെപ്പറേറ്റ് റെക്കോർഡ് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യണോ?
അത് പോളിസിനെ ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യും. ശരിക്കും നമുക്ക് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് ഓരോന്നിനും, അതായത് ഓരോ ലാബിലും ഇപ്പൊ ക്ലീനിങ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ ആരാണ്, പുറമേ നിന്ന് വന്ന ആൾക്കാർ ക്ലീൻ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു, ആ രജിസ്റ്ററിൽ അതിൽ അവരൊരു സിഗ്നേച്ചർ നമ്മൾ പുട്ടപ്പ് ചെയ്യാണ്. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ സാധാരണഗതിയിൽ വീക്ക്ലി ആൻഡ് മന്ത്ലി അതിനൊക്കെ ബേസിക്കലി നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്താൽ മതി, രജിസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് കീപ്പ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ഡെയിലിന്റെ അത് ആരാണ്, ലാബ് ഇൻചാർജ്. നമ്മൾ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ക്ലീനിങ് അല്ലല്ലോ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഡെയിലി ചെയ്യുന്നത് നല്ല കുട്ടികൾ പോയതിനു ശേഷം ബാക്കിയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ നീറ്റാക്കി വെക്കുന്ന, അതിന് എന്തിന്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല, രജിസ്റ്ററിന്റെ ആവശ്യമില്ല. ബാക്കി വീക്ക്ലി മെയിൻ്റനൻസിനും മന്ത്ലി മെയിൻ്റനൻസിനും UPS മെയിൻ്റനൻസ്, ദെൻ ആനുവൽ മെയിൻ്റനൻസ്, അതിന് സെപ്പറേറ്റ് രജിസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ബെറ്റർ.
ഓക്കെ സർ. What is the capacity required for auditorium and seminar hall?
അത് ഇവിടെ ഇൻസിസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ബേസ്ഡ് ഓൺ ACT റൂൾസ്. അതനുസരിച്ചിട്ടാണ്, ACT റൂൾസ് അനുസരിച്ചിട്ടാണ്. ഇതില് സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു റൂൾ ഇല്ല NBA-ക്ക്.
ഓക്കെ സർ. സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ റേഷ്യോ ചോദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
എവിടെയാണ് സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ റേഷ്യോ?
ലാബിൽ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടിംഗ് ഫെസിലിറ്റി.
അത് ഏത് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ്, ദാറ്റ് ഡിപ്പെൻസ്. അപ്പൊ നമുക്കിപ്പോ സാധാരണഗതിയില് നമ്മളിപ്പോ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, സോ 1:1 ആണെങ്കിൽ അതാണ് ഏറ്റവും ബെറ്റർ. സോ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്, 30 സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന്റെ ബാച്ച് ആണ് ഉള്ളത്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ 2 ലാബിലേക്ക് അത് പോകുമ്പോൾ 1:1. അപ്പൊ 30 മെഷീൻസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും അതെന്താണ്, 2 ലാബിലായിട്ട് 2 ബാച്ച് പോവാണെങ്കിൽ വി വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് 1:1. ആ രീതിയിൽ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ബട്ട് ഇൻ ദ ലാംഗ്വേജ് ലാബിന്റെ കേസിൽ അതിനൊന്നും ഈ റേഷ്യോന്റെ വലിയ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഇല്ല. അവിടെ ശരിക്കും നമുക്ക് ACT ഇൻസിസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് തന്നെ 1000 സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് 25 കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നുള്ളൂ. അറ്റ് ദ സെയിം ടൈം ഇതിന്റെ കേസസിൽ ലൈക്ക് CAD ലാബ്, അതൊക്കെ അഡീഷണൽ ഫെസിലിറ്റി ആയിട്ട് ഓരോന്നിലും വരുന്നതാണ്. CAD ലാബ് ഒക്കെ മറ്റുള്ള ലൈക്ക് ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിലുണ്ട്, കെമിക്കൽ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിലുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ അവിടെയൊക്കെ എന്നാൽ 20 മെഷീൻസ് ഒക്കെ ധാരാളമാണ്.
ഓക്കെ സാർ. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഉള്ളത്, അതായത് ഇപ്പോൾ ഓരോ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ലാബ് ഡിഫറെന്റ് അല്ലേ, ഫിസിക്സ് കെമിസ്ട്രി ലാബ്സ് ഓരോ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിലുള്ള അതിന്റെ ഏരിയ ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആയിരിക്കോ ഓരോ ലാബിനുള്ളത്? അതിനെന്തെങ്കിലും സ്പെസിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഉണ്ടോ?
അല്ല, അതാ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്, ഈ ഏരിയ കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും NBA നോംസിൽ വരുന്നില്ല. NBA-ല് അത് ഫെസിലിറ്റി അവൈലബിൾ ആണോന്ന്. ഈ ഏരിയ അതൊക്കെ വരുന്നത് എവിടെയാണ്, ACT. നമ്മൾ അംഗീകാരത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. ACT അംഗീകാരം കിട്ടണമെങ്കിൽ ആ നോംസ് ഫോളോ ചെയ്തിട്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ACT അംഗീകാരം ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. ഇപ്പൊ ലൈബ്രറിക്ക് ഇത്ര സ്പേസ് വേണം, ലാബിന് ഇത്ര സ്പേസ് വേണം, ക്ലാസ് റൂംസിന് ഇത്ര സ്പേസ് വേണം. അത് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് AICTE-യുടെ റൂൾസ് പ്രകാരമാണ്. NBA-യുടെ പോയിന്റ് ഓഫ് വ്യൂല് ആ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം നോക്കുന്നത് ആ ഫെസിലിറ്റി അവൈലബിൾ ആണോന്ന് നോക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് മിനിമം സ്പേസ് ഇല്ലാന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ACT അംഗീകാരത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് EOA ഒക്കെ അതിനെ എഫക്ട് ചെയ്യും. അത് വേറെ കാര്യമാണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ടു ACT.
ഓക്കെ സാർ. അതുപോലെ വാലിഡ് ലൈസൻസിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇപ്പൊ വിൻഡോസ് അങ്ങനെ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർസ് ഒക്കെ ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സ് ആണെങ്കിൽ കുഴപ്പമുണ്ടോ?
അതെ, ഓപ്പൺ സാധാരണ ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ എല്ലാവരും യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സ് തന്നെയാണല്ലോ. ഇപ്പൊ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റ് ആണെങ്കിലും ഇങ്ങനത്തെ കാര്യത്തിനൊക്കെ ഇപ്പൊ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എല്ലാം ഓപ്പൺ സോഴ്സ് തന്നെയാണ്. ബട്ട് ചെറിയ ചെറിയ കാര്യങ്ങൾ, അതായത് ഇത് വരുന്നത് ഇഷ്യൂസ് വരുന്നത് എവിടെയായിരിക്കും? CAD ലാബിന്റെ കേസിൽ അവിടേക്കാണെങ്കിൽ ലൈസൻസ്ഡ് സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർസ് അവൈലബിൾ ആയിരിക്കണം. പിന്നെ അതുമല്ല ചില കേസസ് നമുക്ക് പ്രോജക്ട് ലാബ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ സെർട്ടൻ ടൈം നമ്മൾ അവിടെ വിൻഡോസ് ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്. വിൻഡോസ് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ലൈസൻസ് തന്നെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം. അത് കമ്പൽസറി ആണ്. സോ നമുക്ക് either we can opt for Ubuntu or Windows. ഇപ്പൊ പ്രശ്നം വരെ ഇവിടെയാണ്. ഈ CAD ലാബിന്റെ കേസിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന് ലൈസൻസ് വേണം. അത് കമ്പൽസറി ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ സാർ. ലാബ് കോഴ്സുകളുടെ COPO മാപ്പിംഗ് ഒന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ മതി.
COPO മാപ്പിംഗ് അത് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് അത് ഓരോന്നിനും, അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഒരു എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം തന്നെ ഓരോ കോഴ്സിനും COs, ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഞങ്ങൾ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് 6 COs വെച്ചിട്ടാണ്. നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം തന്നെ തുടങ്ങിയ സമയത്ത് അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. 6 COs ആണ്. അപ്പൊ ഓരോ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ഏത് COയിലാണ് ഇപ്പൊ വരുന്നത് അത് നോക്കിയിട്ട് അതിന് മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം. ഓക്കെ, സെയിം വേ വി ഹാവ് 10 POs. ആ POസിൽ ഏതിലൊക്കെ വരും അതിലേക്ക് മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യണം. അതിന് നമുക്ക് എന്താണ്, അതൊരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഡിസ്കഷൻ വഴി നമുക്കത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? ജസ്റ്റ് അതൊരു എന്താണ് തിയറി അല്ല. അത് നമുക്ക് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഇന്ന് ഈ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ഈ POയിൽ ഏതൊക്കെ സ്കിൽസിനാണ് അത് കാണിക്കുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഏത് ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവിനാണ് COനാണ് കാണിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അതനുസരിച്ചിട്ടാണ് മാപ്പ്. അത് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു തിയറിറ്റിക്കൽ ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു പോകാൻ പറ്റുന്ന കാര്യമല്ല. അതൊരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഒക്കെ എടുത്ത് ചെയ്യണം. അതാണ്.
ഓക്കെ സാർ. ഇമ്പാക്ട് അനാലിസിസ് റിപ്പോർട്ട്
ഇമ്പാക്ട് അനാലിസിസ്, അതായത് നമ്മളൊരു ഫെസിലിറ്റി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് ആ ഫെസിലിറ്റി കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ബെനിഫിറ്റ് ഉണ്ടോ, അത് ആ ഫെസിലിറ്റി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് കുട്ടികൾ ഹാപ്പി ആണോ, അതാണ് നമുക്ക് അറിയേണ്ടത്. അതായത് നമ്മളൊരു പ്രോജക്ട് ലാബ്, പുതുതായിട്ട് ഒരു പ്രോജക്ട് ലാബ് നമ്മൾ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. അത് ഒരു അഡീഷണൽ ഫെസിലിറ്റി ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തു. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഈ പ്രോജക്ട് ലാബില് നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് ഉദ്ദേശം? പ്രോജക്ട് ലാബിലെ ഉദ്ദേശം എന്താണ്? കുട്ടികൾക്കുള്ള മിനി പ്രോജക്ട്, ഫൈനൽ ഇയർ പ്രോജക്ട് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരു ഫെസിലിറ്റി ആണ്. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ ഒരു വേറൊരു വശം എന്താന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാല് ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ബി അവൈലബിൾ ടു ദി സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് അപ്പാർട്ട് ഫ്രം അവർ യൂഷ്വൽ ടൈമിംഗ്, കോളേജ് ടൈമിംഗ് അല്ലെ. അപ്പൊ ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് ആൾക്ക് 5 മണി മുതൽ 4:30 മുതൽ ഒരു 6 മണി വരെ കോളേജിൽ ഇരുന്ന് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള സൗകര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, ലാബിൽ ഇരുന്നിട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ സൗകര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ആ കുട്ടിക്ക് ആഡഡ് അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് ആണ്. ആ രീതിയിൽ അപ്പൊ ശനിയാഴ്ച വന്നിട്ട് ആ കുട്ടിക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് ആഡഡ് അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് ആണ്. അങ്ങനെ നമ്മളൊരു ഫെസിലിറ്റി ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് ആ ഫെസിലിറ്റി കുട്ടിക്ക് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ എഫക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് യൂട്ടിലൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ നോക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. അപ്പൊ ആ ഫെസിലിറ്റി കുട്ടിക്ക് ഉപകാരപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ടോ ഇല്ലേ നോക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇമ്പാക്ട് അനാലിസിസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഇമ്പാക്ട് അനാലിസിസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മൾ DC മീറ്റിംഗിൽ ആ റിപ്പോർട്ട് വെച്ചിട്ട് നോക്കും എന്താണ് പ്രശ്നം, എവിടെയാണ് പ്രശ്നം, എന്നിട്ട് അത് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാം. ഓക്കെ
സാർ. ഓക്കെ, 5S ഒന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ എങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ഇംപ്ലിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ലാബില് 5S
അതൊക്കെ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ടോപ്പിക് ആണല്ലോ. അത് ഇതിനായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെടുത്താൻ പറ്റില്ല. അത് നമുക്ക് ക്ലീൻ ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഏറ്റവും പെട്ടെന്ന് കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ അടുത്തടുത്ത് കിട്ടുന്ന രീതിയിൽ മിനിമം മൂവ്മെന്റിൽ സാധനങ്ങളൊക്കെ സേഫ് ആയിട്ട് വെക്കുക. അതാണ് അതുകൊണ്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്.
ഓക്കെ സാർ, ഇത്രയാണ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്.
Thank you, Praveen sir. Now I would like to invite Sajid sir for taking up.
Okay, thank you, madam. It was a very overwhelming class, and Saif sir is looking at the chat box. Sir will find that minimum 60 to 70 doubts are there, and a lot of doubts are highly relevant. So maybe we have to analyze on each doubt, and definitely the answer to the doubt will be conveyed to the specific person, because it will take so much time for clearing all these doubts. I would like to request Mr. Arun PS, lecturer electronics of Government Polytechnic College, Neyatikara, to give a feedback on the side of the participants.
Thank you, Sajid sir. Actually, I'm really honored to give a feedback on this session. First of all, I need to thank the department, the crew behind the entire accreditation FDP done by Chelakara. Actually, in this pandemic period, I am really having the immense pleasure to express my gratitude towards arranging such an FDP in this pandemic period. Actually, that require a all-round standing ovation. That is, you are actually doing a knowledge sharing effort, and which is really exhausting. And really thank Chelakara team for that. And Shihab sir, you have been, your lecture has been an eye opener for all of us, because most of us have been in the childhood stage on accreditation. So you have been doing since 2017. The last session, ma'am has told about that. So about criteria 6, we have been really blind on many of the criteria, sub-criteria. So about preparation of laboratories for accreditation and maintaining the maintenance record, and about maintenance cell, and about language lab and the common computing facilities. And you have also mentioned the difference between what ACT need and what NBA is going to approach. That was really an eye-opener. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your session. Thank you, Chelakara team. Thank you.
So now I have to thank Arun sir for giving such a detailed feedback, accurate feedback based on the fantastic class that our Shihab sir has provided to us. And now on the part of our college, I would request Usham KM, our beloved HOD of Civil Engineering Department, to have her words.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, all of you. വളരെ സന്തോഷത്തോടു കൂടിയാണ് ഞാൻ ഈ വാക്കുകൾ പറയുന്നത്. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നിങ്ങളുടെ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പൻസ് ഇത്രയും ഭംഗിയായിട്ട് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൽ വളരെയധികം നന്ദിയുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ സാറ്, ഞാൻ കാലിക്കറ്റ് KGPT ഞാൻ ഒരു 3 years വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. 3 years അവിടെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തതിന് ശേഷം പിന്നെ ബിടെക് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് അവിടെ നിന്ന് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് പോയിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് 6 years ആണ് എനിക്ക് ശരിക്കും KGPT ഉള്ളത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് KGPT ഒരു ആംബിയൻസ് സാറിനെ കണ്ട്, സാറിന്റെ ക്ലാസ് ഒക്കെ കേട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര സന്തോഷമായിരുന്നു. അതിൽ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനും അതിനുവേണ്ടി സാറിനോട് നന്ദി പറയാനും കിട്ടിയ ചാൻസിനെ ഞാൻ വളരെ നന്ദിയോടുകൂടി സ്മരിക്കുകയാണ്. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും KGPT വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ കിട്ടിയ ഒരു അവസരവും, ഞാൻ കുറെ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റുകളിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഈവൻ പാലക്കാട് MTA, അങ്ങനെ കുറെ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻസിൽ മാറി മാറി വർക്ക് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. KGPT എനിക്ക് വളരെ സന്തോഷമുള്ള ഒരു സ്ഥലമായിരുന്നു. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും KGPT വന്ന് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഈ നമ്മുടെ പോളിടെക്നിക് വേണ്ടി ഇത്രയും മനോഹരമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ക്ലാസ് ഞാൻ എന്റെ ഹൃദയത്തിന്റെ ഭാഷയിൽ നന്ദി പറയാണ്. ഓരോ പോളിടെക്നിക്കിലുള്ള ഓരോ എംപ്ലോയീസിനും വളരെയധികം ബെനിഫിഷ്യൽ ആയിരുന്നു സാറിന്റെ വാക്കുകൾ. ഇത്രയും ആത്മാർത്ഥതയോടുകൂടി ഈ ക്ലാസ്സിന് വേണ്ടി തയ്യാറായി അത് എടുത്തു തന്ന സാറിന് 1000 നന്ദികൾ അർപ്പിക്കുകയാണ്. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ചേലക്കര ടീമിലെ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ലീഡറായിട്ടുള്ള ഞങ്ങളുടെ റെജിമോൻ സാറ് ഈ ഒരു ലീഡർഷിപ്പില് ഇത്രയും മനോഹരമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം ആയിരുന്നു. അതിന്റെ പിന്നിലുള്ള ഞങ്ങളുടെ അനിത ടീച്ചർ, പിന്നെ മറ്റ് എല്ലാ സഹപ്രവർത്തകരും, ഞങ്ങളുടെ ചേലക്കര ടീം ഒന്നിച്ചു നിന്നാണ് എല്ലാ പ്രോഗ്രാമും ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അത്രയും ഒരു എനർജറ്റിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ടീമായിട്ട് നിന്നാണ് ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങളും ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ എല്ലാവർക്കും അതിന് ഞാൻ നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. ഞാനും അതിന്റെ ഒരു പാർട്ടാണ്. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ഇതെല്ലാവർക്കും ഈ ക്ലാസ് ഉപകാരപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച് സർ. താങ്ക് യു
മാഡം.
Shihab sir, on the part of this organizing team of this FDP, we would like to express our sincere gratitude because the lab facilities and allied factors in line with the NBA requirement it's a very simple one, but most missing from our polytechnic system. We have to do that modification, and we can do the modification in a brisk time period. So sir class is an eye-opening for us, of high utility, and on the behalf of the organizing team, we would like to express our sincere gratitude. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now it's over to Anita madam.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So we are coming to the end of the first session of day 4. And I would like to again thank Srihab sir for giving us a chance to hear from you.
Okay, welcome.
Okay, dear participants, thank you all. And we will be meeting again at 1:30 p.m. today for Chandrakanta ma'am's session. So see you then. Bye.
Srihab sir, once again, thank you. From an alumni of KGPT,